Today's lesson we talked about 2.12, and with 2.12 we were solving multi-step problems using equations. So we'll look at some really long equations that we have to figure out how to solve. Now one of the biggest things we talked about before we even got started was our order of operations. So we talked about PEMDAS, and we talked about how we're not going to use the P and the E right now, and how we're not going to use the D right now, so we're just really looking at M-A-S. Now, we always have to solve our multiplication first before we go on to solving our addition and subtraction from left to right, just how we read. So let's take a look at some problems that we solved in class and one of the problems on your homework. Alright, this is one of the problems we looked at in class, and when we're taking a look at this problem, the first thing that we have to do is solve our problem step by step. On the last slide, I talked to you about making sure we do our multiplication first. So, we can only solve one multiplication problem at a time. I'm going to start with the first one right here. Now, we've used these little caret things before. We're bringing them back, and we're using our carets again. We have to solve that multiplication problem first, so we have 42 times 8. That's going to be our first problem. So, we learned how to multiply a two-digit number by a one-digit number. We learned lots of different ways. I'm just going to use our multiplying with three grouping. So, 8 times 2 is 16. I put my 6, I carry my 1. 8 times 4 is 32, plus one more, and I get 33. And I'm going to write this product right down here, 336. And now I have to rewrite my entire rest of my problem, because I haven't used anything else yet. So plus 3 times 59 minus 62 is equal to n. Now my next step is to solve my other multiplication problem. So I'm going to do this problem right here. Again, I have my little caret. I'm going to come over to the side, 59 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. I put my 7, carry my 2. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 more is 17. And I have 177. And now I have to rewrite my problem again. So I'm going to bring down my 336 plus 177 minus 62 is equal to n. I haven't used my minus 62. I didn't use my 336, so I had to bring it down. Rewrite my problem. Now my next step when I was doing MAS is to add and subtract. I'm going to add and subtract from left to right, which is just how I read. So I'm going to start here at 336 plus 177. I'm going to add it over here. Oops, 336, not 66. Okay, 7 times 6 is 13. I put my 3 and I carry my 1. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. And then 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. So I have 513. Now I still haven't used this minus 62, so I have to rewrite it. My final step is for me to subtract. So I don't have enough room to go down anymore. I'm going to rewrite 513 minus 62. Okay, 3 minus 2 is 1. I have to regroup. And I have 11 minus 6 is 5. And then I bring my 4 down. Okay, I need my final caret. Shows me I subtracted, and I have 451 is equal to n. All of this work for one little answer. Now, notice how I rewrote my problem as I went down. I would solve for one product, and then I'd rewrite, and then I'd solve for another product, and I'd rewrite, and then I'd add and rewrote, and then finally subtracted. Let's take a look at a word problem, and with our word problems, I need to figure out how I'm going to write this equation that I'm starting with. This is one of the word problems that we looked at in class. Maddox has 4 boxes with 32 marbles in each box. So we have 4 boxes, 32 marbles in each box. He has 7 boxes with 18 shells in each box. If he got 20 marbles from a friend, so he's getting them, he's getting 20 marbles from a friend, how many marbles and shells does he have? Okay, we have lots going on in this problem. So we have to start out by setting it up. I have 4 boxes, each with 32 marbles. So that's a multiplication problem. And I have 7 boxes, each with 18 shells. And I'm getting 20 more of something. and then that's going to equal my number. I have to figure out what's going to go in between all these problems that I just wrote out. So, I have 4 boxes of 32 marbles, and he has 7 boxes of 18 marbles. I know I'm going to have to add these together. And then I also know that he's getting 20 marbles, which means he's going to be adding those 20 more to his collection. So that's another addition right there. Now I can go and solve my problem. So I'm going to start with my multiplication, my first one over here. I have to work my problem out. So 32 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Now I'm writing that in place. And now I have to rewrite out the rest of my problem. Plus 7 times 18 plus 20 is equal to n. Now I'm going to solve my next multiplication problem. So 7 times 18. 7 times 8 is 56. I carry my 5. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 5 more is 12. Okay, I have to rewrite my problem. I'm bringing that 28 down. And then I'm bringing my plus 20 equals n down. Okay, my next step is for me to add. So I'm going to add those two numbers together. 6 plus 8 is 14. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 1 plus 1 is 2. And now I have to bring the rest of my problem down. Plus 20 equals n. And my final step is to add my final numbers together. So I'm adding 20 more, and I get 4 and 7, and that 2. I have 274 is equal to n. And that's my final answer. Now please make sure that you are using your extra sheet of paper to write this out, because you'll notice this takes up a lot of room. And you don't have enough room on that teeny little practice page to write all of this out. Let's take a look at one of the problems from your homework tonight. This is problem number 7 on your homework, so that bottom word problem after you've already solved for all of those n's above. Okay, a bakery has 4 trays with 16 muffins on each tray. The bakery has 3 trays of cupcakes with 24 cupcakes on each tray. If 15 cupcakes were sold, how many muffins and cupcakes are left? Okay, they have 4 trays with 16 muffins. So right there I'm looking at 4 times 16. And, so I'm going to be adding, the bakery has 3 trays with 24 cupcakes on each tray. So 3 times 24. Now, they sell, or they sold 15 cupcakes. If they sell them, they don't have them anymore, which means I'm going to be subtracting 15, and that's going to get me my n. So I set up my whole equation, 4 times 16 plus 3 times 24 minus 15 is equal to n. Now I can start doing my math. My first step is to do my first multiplication. So 16 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. I put my 2 and carry my 4. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 4 more is 8. So I have 82. Now I have to rewrite my problem. Plus 3 times 24 minus 15 is equal to n. Okay, now my next step is to solve my other multiplication problem. I have 24 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. I carry my 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. 72. Now I have to bring everything else down. I bring my 82 down. I didn't use it. Minus 15 is equal to n. Okay, now I'm going to add my 82 and my 72 together. I get 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 8 plus 7 is 15. I have 154 minus 15 is equal to n. Sorry, I should have done those in black. Now my final step is to do that subtraction. So minus 15, last step. Now I can't subtract 4 minus 5, so I borrow. 14 minus 5 is 9, 4 minus 1 is 3, and I bring my 1 down, and I'm left with 139 is equal to n. Now they want to know how many muffins and cupcakes are left, so I have 139 muffins and cupcakes. Remember, I always have to know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about muffins and cupcakes at this point. All right. You have quite a few problems to do for your homework this weekend. Make sure you are reading those problems carefully when it comes to your word problems. When you're working your problems out, make sure you're working them out step by step, showing all of your work, writing the whole entire problem out, and then rewriting it step by step. On Monday, we're going to review for your test. Your test is on Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.